Okay, this is looking really good. Um, I really like the way you've done the hair with the transparency. I think that came out really nice. The eyes look good. Face is good. I'm liking the fabric on here, and I really like this leather pouch and the detail with the button and all that you've got going on there. Um, I think some of the seams you have are okay. Like this seam you can see here isn't so much a problem because you could imagine the pants being constructed that way. But a seam like the one, that's not working, um, on his neck here is a bit noticeable. And because you painted in Photoshop, it's not easy in Photoshop to paint out those seams, but we can do it in Maya. So what I would tend to do is go to Paint, 3D Paint, and then in here, we're going to go to Assign Edit Textures. And if we know um, those, let's maybe go in here, File, Open, um, and let's see, this one I think. Um, so I'm just going to make it the same. It's 2048 by 2048. That's what I was just checking. So, yeah, I mean, you can see the problem real quick. If you look at your UV maps, whoops, what happened there? Panel, UV editor. There we go. So we can see there's, a border down here. Yeah, this edge here, and which is shared by that. So like this color here is different from say that color there. Um, and so that's the issue. The solution is, as I was starting to show, go into Paint, 3D Paint, and we'll do Assign Edit Textures 2048, and this file format's fine, whatever you want. And then use the clone stamp tool, and it's a little clunky in Maya. Um, but if we go to clone right here, and then you have to hit set clone source, and I'll do that right there. And then I should be able to paint and make this a little bigger. Make sure I have a nice soft brush. And I just like to kind of click. I don't like to click and drag all that much because it doesn't. Do you see that seam going away? Okay. Um, and then the big thing, anyways, you just keep painting until you're done. Obviously there's more to do here, and you should set the clone source often because um, because it because it's moving along in 3D, it doesn't necessarily do a great job of being in the right position relative to where you're painting. So um, anyway, so yeah, just click, click, click. Don't click and drag all that much. Anyway, yeah, and so any seams you got get rid of, you can use that workflow. But the most important thing to remember is to, when you're finished, click Save Textures, and you can see it's saved this now. Body shape color.iff. So that is what should be assigned to this. I'm just going to delete history, Alt Shift D, and color. Um, Body shape color.iff. So that's what's on there now. And so your old one should still be there because it's a different file format. So look for seams you want to get rid of and use that process to clean them up. Like another one, this one's kind of subtle, but there's this one on the back of the boot maybe you don't want. Um, Anywhere you see some. But yeah, I think the textures on this guy look good. I think you've done a nice job. I think maybe consider like again, I'll just delete history. Blinn, it's so Blinn is pretty shiny. Um, and then for this kind of fabric, I wouldn't think it would be. So I might turn down the specular color. I don't know if you can see what's happening there that well, but let's see where I get to a highlight. It's more obvious. Anyways, it's not that obvious, but well, there you can kind of see it when I go to the extreme. It's just less shiny, and I think it should be pretty. This kind of fabric should be pretty not shiny. Whereas the skin, well, we'll do a different thing with the skin later, but you might have certain shiny areas of the skin and certain not shiny. And then leather might be shinier in certain areas. Sometimes actually where it's been kind of worn more, it's shinier. Like maybe the knuckles end up being a little shinier. So you might want to consider painting a specular map for some of the surfaces like the leather, like the boots and the gloves on the packet. But yeah, looking great.